Hello class, in this video we'll talk about the sound elements in a documentary film. So usually in a documentary film you will have 6 different sound elements. So the first would be the narrative commentary or voiceover. So the voiceover is the most common or most popular tool in documentary films because it is the easiest and effective way to communicate verbal information in absence of dialogue between actors. Okay, so what is voiceover? So basically the commentator can be virtually anybody from a character in the film or the filmmaker or to even someone completely unidentified. So here let me give you an example. For this movie is about Billy who live on the mountains and collects snows for a few decades. So in this film, we can hear the voiceover, but we can't identify who the commentator is. She may be the director, she may be just the voiceover artist. However, through her voiceover, you can understand the whole narration of the video.
Billy lives alone in this house he helped build. Here he grows his garden, has an impressive hat collection, loves cricket, and dreams of Bollywood.
So voiceover is the most popular way for narration. However, many filmmakers, they prefer to communicate verbal information to the audience through talking heads. Basically, in talking heads, the audience is able to identify the person who is talking, thus making their experience more organic for them. So the talking head is more like a formal interview. You have your interviewee sitting there or standing there in the field, and they talk, and you feel it's more kind of a formal interview format. Okay. So however, in the editing part, the filmmaker always show the interviewee talking and then cut to visual images while continuing the voice of the interviewee over those images, which may support or supplement what he's talking. For example, this video, as you can see, is a very kind of formal interview. Our interviewee is sitting in front of a table and talking about his story. However, instead of show the whole interview throughout the film, the director cut to different visual shots that shows what the interviewee is talking about, thus making the film less boring.
A terrible story hit the paper, and that was the worst mass murderer of the 20th century, Leonard Lake. He'd been our neighbor when we lived on the ranch. He was a great homesteader, and we learned a lot from him about livestock and keeping care of animals. When we went to do the Renaissance Fair, we brought him along to do photography because he was a photographer. He would go around to schools and take school pictures and stuff. They took him in on a shoplifting charge, and he immediately committed suicide.
The local coroner says 5 bodies have been found here so far. The Calaveras County Sheriff once told me, though, he believes there are as many as 20 victims, though, buried on the property.
Here's another clip from the same movie. I like the director's artistic style for the whole movie, the color, and also the visual elements the director used for the movie. And it looks like a feature film.
And we are storytellers. This is the most powerful magic that we have, is storytelling. There's a saying that is part of the funeral ceremonies in pagan culture, which is that which is remembered lives. And so it is.
Background music is a very important component in the feature films. However, it also plays a very important role in the documentary films. So in this example, the director used the music to enhance the moments and create the moods in the film.
A snake's eyes are...
And in another example, the music was used to establish a particular geographic location or identify a particular community. So as you can hear in this movie, the music instruments that are used in the movie are from the local. Okay, and also the music piece they play are the local folk music, thus establish a particular geographic location. And music can also be used to establish the emotion of the film. Either it's a positive direction or it is a negative direction to go. For example, this video footage, if I give it positive background music, it'll convey a feeling like this.
Acid rain is any form of precipitation with high levels of nithic and sulfuric acids. It can occur in the form of snow, fog, and even dry materials that settle to earth.
And if I give it a negative background music, it'll convey a feeling like this.
Acid rain is any form of precipitation with high levels of nithic and sulfuric acids. It can occur in the form of snow, fog, and even dry materials that settle to earth.
In your documentary film, because it is about real events, right? So you want to record the ambient sound, which can be referred to noise in the environment. Okay, if you are filming the documentary film in the forest, and definitely you want to include the wind sound, the birds singing sound, those kind of sound. So those are ambient sound. And if you film a subject in the factory, for example, this movie I can show you, it includes a lot of ambient sound of the machine, and the water and the boiling stuff, those kind of sound. So all of those are ambient sound to establish the location.
Soy sauce is made from 4 main ingredients: soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. Like sake, Japanese vinegar, and miso, the fermentation.
Sound effects is very common in feature films, right? However, it's not that common in documentary film. However, a lot of time you want to use sound effects to kind of enhance the emotion or the environment of the shot. In this example here, it is a time-lapse photography, and the director put the photos together in the video, right? How can you have a sound in the photos, right? So the director used the sound effects to enhance the flowers growing, the growth stuff.
This is a farm in Khorasan province in northeast of Iran.
The 6th one, which is the last one, is silence. It may sound weird, why silence is a element of the sound in the film. So in a lot of cases, you can see in the feature films, they use the silence to enhance, for example, enhance the battle when there's a big explosion, and everything's a silence, because the silence can convey the death and the impact, right? For example, in documentary film, if you're talking about a very sad topic, you may use silence, to depict that sadness. All right, so that's all the 6 different sound elements in the documentary film. If you have a good use of all of these, and you will have a very good sound component for your film, and you can enhance the emotion, the landscape, and the environment of your movie.